Okay. Once more, we are also live in Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitch. So, once more, in a few minutes, about to begin character design with Adobe Illustrator. In addition, saying hi, hello, thank you to Sir Archie of FabLab Mindanao and the FabLab Philippines. Also, to our friends in Binildian Industrial Designers. Okay, let me now add our sharer. We call that here share because he's going to share his knowledge in Adobe Illustrator. Without further ado, let's say magandang gabi, or I don't know how to say German, guten Nacht. Hello, Ken.
Hi, everybody. How are you guys doing?
Yep, evening here in the Philippines. Everyone is curious. Where is Ken located right now?
I am based just outside of Dusseldorf, Germany. Thus, Dussel York City Studios or DYC Studios. That's my brand.
Yep, and I've heard you were previously from US.
Yeah, I am a New Yorker. I've worked for Nickelodeon.
Wow.
I worked for 13 years in film and television and advertising. Also in education in New York for Ezra. And now I'm teaching at the Digital Career Institute here in Germany, teaching marketing and PR. But yet I am a designer. How about that? That's cool, right?
Also curious to know how did you end up in Germany?
My wife's German, so we met on the set of a Chuck E. Cheese commercial of all things, and she was like, "Well, what do you think about?" This is after living in New York for a long time. What do you think about moving to San Francisco? And I said, "Ah, San Francisco could be cool." We thought about it. 2 months later, she was like, "Well, what do you think about moving to Germany?" And so, jetzt bin ich in Deutschland. So yeah, now I'm here in Germany.
How many years you've been there?
Since 2012, so for quite a while now.
So if you're fluent in speaking German.
Ja, ich kann Deutsch sprechen. Yeah, sicher. I do speak German. I do watch German TV shows, German films, and pretty much everything. But I think, if you live in a country, you have to learn the language. So if I were to ever move to the Philippines, I would have to learn how to speak the native language,
Tagalog.
right? You would teach me, right?
Yeah. And yeah, have you ever been to the Philippines, Ken?
No, but I would love to come. I've seen like pictures and videos, and it looks really beautiful there. And just to see like the artwork there and the culture and the history, to me, I would just go like crazy. It'd be wild.
Yep, definitely you should experience the hospitality and love of the Filipino uh, people. Yeah, hoping you can visit our country soon. Yep. Good evening to Ray Ann. So yeah, Kenneth, what's in store for us this evening?
So today we're going to be working in Adobe Illustrator and working with character design because that's something that I'm really passionate about, and I do live streams weekly on Behance. So you guys will get to see a little bit of how I create characters, and we'll do a little bit of line art first, and then we'll do a little bit of coloring as well too, which I think you guys will enjoy. And the character that I've kind of decided to create for you guys is kind of based on Riot Games, League of Legends, Valorant meets kind of Overwatch, Blizzard Entertainment type characters. So it should be a lot of fun to have this like vector character. And I believe that you guys might be able to get the original line or original pencil drawing that you guys can work with as well too.
Yep. Yeah, we're now seeing your screen.
Yep. So this is my web page on Adobe Portfolio, and just to show you some of the work that I've done. Here you can see all the types of characters that I've done. There you can see Tracer from Overwatch if you're big into that. You can see Tiny Tina from Borderlands. I'm a gamer. I think you can tell that now. Also, again, just like some things that I've worked on in Adobe Illustrator, started out as a pencil drawing and then turned into a full vector graphic. So this is kind of like one of my favorite things, a rock and roll princess. I think you guys all know Snow White right there. So
Yep.
pretty cool, a lot of fun. And I just thought, just to give you guys an idea of some of the things that I do and that I stream as well too. So here you can see this was created during a live stream on Behance, several live streams actually. Just amazing fun stuff. And if you visit my Behance page or my portfolio, you'll be able to see more about how I create characters and things of that nature.
Yep. So encouraging everyone, yeah, let's make this very interactive. So encouraging everyone to ask questions to Ken while he shows us how to design a character in Adobe Illustrator. Take it away, Ken.
All right, so we are going to dive into Adobe Illustrator today, and I hope you guys will have a lot of fun. But just to give you guys an example of some line art that I created, and I'm working on coloring, and I'm coloring in Clip Studio Paint, but usually I do a lot of coloring. But this is Jinx from League of Legends. If you guys watch Arcane on Netflix, you might recognize Jinx, aka Powder. So this is something that I've done just to show you an example of how detailed it can go. And you don't want to know how many layers are in this. Usually when I do a character and I color, I can get anywhere up to 1,000 to 3,000 layers in Illustrator. But it's pretty cool. I really like it. And just to show you, there's even a pink version of her right here as well too. But today we're going to be doing something totally different. I'm just going to close this out. We are going to be working on a new character that I drew specifically for you guys. And I think, like I said, you guys will be able to get this. So we're going to do place. And I have this character right here that I've built. And again, she's kind of based on, something that you might see in League of Legends or from Riot Games or from, Blizzard Entertainment in like a game like Overwatch. And I just want to do something kind of fun and something interesting for you guys. And again, feel free to ask questions throughout the stream, and I will answer almost any question that you have. Let me just make this a little bit bigger. And we'll bring her down right here centered. And again, if you guys follow along and if you guys get the pencil art, then you will be able to create this in your own style. And if you do create it in your own style, then, share it on social media and make sure you give me a tag on Instagram. If you share it on Instagram, either to Deuce New York City Studios or at Ken Shineberry. If you share it on Facebook, then tag me at DYC Studios or Kenneth Shineberry. Or if you share it on LinkedIn, tag me on LinkedIn as well too. And then if you share your artwork on Twitter, then, tag me on either at KShineberry212 or DYC Studios 212. But this is the character we're going to be working on today. I'm just going to scooch her up a little bit. Now, right now, she's an illustration. She's big, she's bright, but we're going to turn her into a template. I love working with pencil drawings. I love to sketch first in pencil. I'm old school. Been using the same pencil since 7th grade, a Pentel mechanical pencil, and I love it. So we're just going to turn her into a template, which makes her a little bit lighter. So now she's locked. She's ready to go, and we're going to start doing some line art. Now, what I need to do is create a new layer. I am using a nice little tool like this, so I can easily just go, bam, new layer right there. Didn't even have to touch anything on the computer. How awesome is that? And I'm going to get my trusty little stylus out, and we're going to be mostly using the pencil tool right here. And I will rotate the canvas a little bit, and we'll see. You're going to see like how my technique is. So I'm just going to rotate maybe the canvas. I'm going to start with like the outer lines for her hair, and just kind of get something like this where I can kind of get that line going. And we'll adjust the line as I go, but I'm just going to try to get the line started. Simple, easy. And I'm just kind of tracing right now. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to match up 100%. That's the great thing about Illustrator. Once I draw a line, I can always go back and adjust the points and make it exactly how I want. So let's zoom in just to see. And we can get that line kind of fixed up a little bit. And I'll make it even bigger. And so I'm just going to take the nodes and just get this a little bit more pointy. Maybe bring this down a little bit like this. And then this line, I'm just going to zoom out and get it out to here. And I think that's fine like this. Maybe we'll bring this line in a little bit more like this. Now, I want to play with this line. I don't want it to be like completely flat. The other thing that I like to do is set this and this to the curved ends, because the way I create artwork, it kind of makes it a little bit nicer that way. And then we're going to also increase the point. And once I get the idea of how big and thick I want things, then we'll go in. Now we have that line right there. I'm also going to use the width tool right here to kind of just play with the widths a little bit and just make it a little bit thinner in spots and a little bit heavier in spots, just to give it a little bit more dynamic. Whoops, let's see if it'll do it right there. Just a little bit thinner. And then right here, we'll make it a little bit thicker, just to give it a little bit more kind of like, pizzazz, so to speak. All right, so I'm going to bring this back to 0. And we are going to create a new line. And we're going to take this back to the uniform line. Again, I'll play with this, each line individually, because that's what I want to do. And now what I'm doing to color this later on, you need to make sure that your lines are intersecting, like they touch. They need to be touching and going in, because when we color this, I'm going to do this like live paint. And you have to, in order to do this technique that I'm going to show you guys later on, you have to make sure the lines touch each other, physically touch each other, or slightly overlap. All right. So we're just going to bring this line right here. And I'm just going to come down just a little bit like this. Now that line, I think, is a little bit too big. So I'm going to take this down to about maybe 3, give or take, something like that. And see how it's just slightly touching this. Just going to slightly move it a little bit over like that. And then I'm going to come over here to my anchor point tool. And I'm just going to adjust this one point right here, just to get it a little, so it's not so hard edged. Something like this. And then she's looking great. Again, I'm going to come into my width tool, and we're just going to play with the width just to get her a little bit more kind of like, a little bit more where it's kind of not completely thick, not completely thin, but something that's just a little bit more dynamic, Just playing with the line weight. And I could use like, pressure sensitivity or something like that. I'm just playing with a little bit, just having fun. And again, something I can always go back and change it. So we got 2 lines of her hair going on. That's pretty nice. We are going to get this big curve of her hair next. So I'm just going to zoom out, and we're going to get this curve right here. Now we could continue on, with the pencil, or we could plot points. So there's different ways to kill a cat, so to speak, which is great. So I can either go like this, and then bring a point right here and bring a point right here. And then I can go in, and with my anchor point tool, I can easily just like click and drag, and I can make a line however I want. And sometimes that's the way to go. Sometimes, if you want to do something by hand, you can draw it by hand with your pencil, or if you just want to plot the point, you can do that way as well too. Again, we're going to change this to uniform, and then we're going to play with the thickness just a little bit. I think I'm going to go with 2, maybe 3. And then I'm going to zoom in. I'm just going to get the ends a little bit thinner, and then the middle part a little bit more weighted. So I'm just going to use the width tool. Just something like this. And again, if you're working on something that was a pencil sketch, you can always change it. It doesn't have to stay the same. It doesn't have to match exactly like what you did with your pencil drawing. It can be slightly different. It doesn't have to line up 100% perfectly. It can be slightly different. Okay, so we got that line of her hair. We're going to get this line right here next. And I think that's okay, that shape. So I'm just going to zoom in, and we're going to get this. The other thing that I recommend doing is practicing, drawing lines, like straight lines and curved lines, because that will really help you kind of get this kind of mental, like, I can't remember how it's called, the use of, it's like muscle memory. So if you kind of like practice drawing lines across a page on Illustrator or Photoshop, you'll get that much better creating smooth lines. So to me, you know, working on your muscle memory when you're drawing will help you out to get those kind of smooths. Now this one I think we need to take down a little bit because it is too thick. So I'm going to take it maybe down to 1 point, something like that, you know, and we're just going to play with like the thicknesses. Now we got another line right here. Again, everything needs to touch because the way we're going to color later on, and I'll show you, it needs to touch for it to be colored in the style that I'm going to show you guys how to color. We're just going to do this right here, something like that. And you know what? I don't like that line exactly. And there's something cool right here, a smooth tool where we can easily go and just draw over our line and smooth it out. Wow. Just see, it fixed it. Like, wow, that's cool, right? And I'm just going to play with the width tool just a little bit, not so much, just to give it a little bit more thickness in the middle right here. Whoops, I'm going to get rid of that. Sometimes it does it the way I want, sometimes it doesn't. Right there, something like that, just to give it a little bit more, you know, make it a little bit more dynamic. I see Ian joined the room. How you doing, Ian? Cheers, mate. All right, getting to see some familiar faces and so forth. And I see Elaine said hello on YouTube. So guys, feel free to say hi. If you guys have questions, you know, feel free to ask. Okay. So we got her hair going pretty good. We need to get this other part of her hair over here. All right. I'm going to try to stick with this one line right here, and we're going to go. I see a question on YouTube. How can I get a certification from Adobe? I'm a professor and I teach multimedia subjects. Ooh, there's a lot of different ways. It just depends if you go ahead and pass the test. And I see Lizelle on YouTube as well. Great to see you. Nice to see everybody. All right, very cool. And we're just going to work on this piece of hair right here. But if you want to get certified in Adobe, I think it's kind of cool to do that. I've never done it personally, but I had students that have done it. I would like to, but it's something that, you know, I always put off. But I should get certified. But I've been using Photoshop since 1994. Oops, that line is horrible. Okay, I messed that one up. Sometimes you mess things up. And if you mess things up, it's completely okay to go back and redo it. You know? I'm just going to draw point by point. And you know what? I'm just going to get rid of a point. So if we don't like a point that's there, like see how this is kind of getting like flat? We can always fix that. We can always say by point, we're going to just drag the nose right there. That looks nice. That looks cool. And I like the weight of that line as well too. So I think I'm going to stick with that line, that shape. And we're going to do this bigger line right here. And we're just going to go and just follow along what I've drawn. Something like this. And then I'm just going to go and continue that around. Yeah, perfect. Oh, wow. That actually turned out really good. I might minus this one right here, though, and then drag this point just to get it a little bit more on point. And again, it doesn't have to line up perfectly 100%. You know, the original pencil drawing, it's just kind of an idea in my head. You know, when I'm doing artwork, it changes constantly. Okay, so it looks like we have her hair almost done. There's like one little curve, and up here we can get those hairlines as well too. But she is looking good. But I might actually make this line a little bit thicker. Let's take this up to maybe 2 just to see. Yeah, that looks nice right there. And now I'm going to get this little curve of this piece of hair, and then we'll do the other piece of hair. All right. And I tried to choose like a drawing that was like that I created for you guys that was kind of simple. That way, you know, anybody can do it. It's all, you know, it's pretty easy. And you don't have to be the best drawer in the world. I think learning how to sketch is fine. And if you think about it, to me, really, like, think about Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty has made millions of dollars, and Hello Kitty is just basically circles, right? So, you know, if you can draw a circle, then you can become an illustrator, in my opinion. Okay. All right. So we got her hair going on. She's looking good. Just to show you what we got so far right there. Nice, clean cut, nice lines, different weights. So it kind of looks really nice. But when I get into the facial sections, I probably won't do as many weighted lines. I'll probably keep those kind of like, very, very situated. All right, I'm just going to click this and we're going to do this. This one I'm going to probably go down maybe to point. We might change it. Something like this. And then I'm just going to get this little hair, something like that. And again, it needs to touch the line. Other words, you won't be able to do the coloring that I'll show you guys later. Just going to try to smooth this little line out right here. There, that's better. All right, cool. Go back into pencil. I like that weight for that line. I think that's perfect. We're just going to do this other piece of hair that's coming down right here. And again, see, this muscle memory, like working on doing lines is important. Practice, practice, practice. They say that if you practice anything like 5 minutes to an hour a day, you become 1% better. Think about this. If you practice drawing, for 30 days, that's 30% better. If you practice drawing for a whole year, 5 to 10 minutes a day, hour a day, that's 365% better. So to me, if you're learning, getting in there is really good. I see Kenny joined. Kenny is an awesome illustrator as well, too, that I met on LinkedIn. Kenny has done so many cool things. I tell you, Kenny is awesome. Great to see you, Kenny. Very cool. I love that we have some familiar faces and new people. I'm just going to zoom out just so you can see how all those lines kind of interact. And I am going to use my nifty little device here and do new layer. This way I have everything kind of separated. Sometimes I'll do the line work in different colors. If I had my Behance page up, just to show you, if, for example, I'm doing something like this, none of the lines are in black. So her hair, the lines are a little bit darker than the hair color, the skin a little bit darker than the skin color. If you do this, you really need to pay attention and label and number or label your layers and really do it. But since we're just doing, black line art, then, it's okay to do it the way I'm doing it. I'll know where everything is because it's simple. I'm not going to go and do like this, because if I did one that every line was like a color that matched the illustration, it would take forever to do. So I think we're going to move into her face and get the lines for her face. Now, I want to just have a uniform line. I don't want to have anything too crazy. And I'm going to start off with a 2-point just for fun. Maybe we'll do this, something fun. We'll do this for this line. Then I'll go into a uniform point. So something like this, just to give her a little bit kind of like a cheek line, and then we'll move into the face line. Okay, just going to zoom in just a little bit. Right here, I'm going to put this back to basic, and we're just going to work on her face. And I probably will take this down maybe to like 1 point just to get it. And then let's move this line a little bit just so it touches. Like I said, for what I'm doing today, it's very integral for the lines to touch because we will do the live paint later on. And you'll see if I messed up. So, okay. All right. I'm going to fix this right here. Now, why did KENN not go all the way? Because I want to get this uniform. I want to make it the same on both sides. So what I'm going to do is I am going to duplicate this layer right here, duplicate layer, and I'm going to lock this one. I'm going to select everything on this so everything is selected. And then I'm going to go to Object. I'm going to go to Transform, and I'm going to go to Reflect. Now, I don't need to make a copy. I just hit OK. And I'm just going to close this so I can see. And I'm just going to click on my selection tool. I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to hold Shift, and I'm going to drag it right here and just kind of line it up right there. Okay. All right. And now I'm going to unlock this back, and I'm going to drag these into this layer so it's all one layer. And now we're going to get her chin. Okay. So I'm just going to zoom in on her chin. And we are going to work on her chin and make her a pretty chin. And I'm just going to select everything. And I'm just going to go back into my pencil tool. And I'm just going to very slightly try to draw this as close as possible. I can always fix a line, something like that. And I think edit undo. I think it's not connected. Edit undo. We'll try it one more time. Oh, okay. Well, it's not connecting. All right, no worries. We're going to select this and we're going to go to join. And then I'll fix this little portion right here. So we just need to fix this little portion right here because you can see there's like too many little nodes right there. And we're just going to delete this node, and then I can go in and adjust the node right here. So let's adjust this node. Very simple right here. Just going to adjust it and kind of work on it. And then this one I'm going to bring maybe more to the center. Just do my direct select tool and get this node something like this, right? And I love doing these live streams on Behance weekly. It's something that I really enjoy doing. So every Sunday, I'm on Behance streaming live for the Adobe Education Leaders Program. So you guys can always join me then as well too. Now we got a couple extra lines here. I'm just going to clean this up a little bit, just delete some points, just so it's about, about the same. And we're just going to adjust this one little piece right here. So it's something like that. All right, so I'm going to zoom out just so you can see. And I'm going to turn this off so you can see what we've done. Not bad so far. Now, oh gosh, right, that's going into her hair. Oh no, Ken, what are we going to do? Well, have no fear. I'm going to start expanding a couple lines here and there. So I'm just going to take this line because it's going into her hair, and I'm going to go Object, Expand Appearance. And now it's not a path, it is a shape. So I can come over here with my eraser tool, and we can clean this line up right there, just something like this. And then we'll just click on this and hit delete. Boom, bing, bang, bada boom. There she is. Got that cheek. She's looking good so far. Again, very simple drawing, very nice. Again, we'll turn this back on, and now we'll work on her ear. And the ear, I will probably change a little bit, and we're going to do a new layer. So again, I'm going to break out. I'm going to lock this first. I'm going to break out this cool little device here. I'm going to hit new layer, bada bing, bada boom, bang. Didn't even have to touch anything on my computer. Super easy. And that allows me to do a lot of different things as well too, like undo, and it's programmable. So I am just going to go like this. And we are going to get the line back. All right, and I probably will adjust that ear a little bit as we go. I just want to get this back to this and get the nodes on the end, and we're just going to make the ear. And I'll fix this a little bit. Again, it doesn't have to match 100%. Every drawing will take its own path when you're turning it from pencil to vector. It just is kind of fun to adjust things a little bit. All right, so that looks pretty good. I just need to get this other line right here just a little bit more fixed. So I think I'm going to maybe, because like I said, it needs to touch. Every line needs to touch somewhere. I need to have closed paths everywhere. So I'm just going to move this up like this, something like that maybe. And maybe we'll make this a little bit more rounder so she doesn't look like she's an elf or something. All right. I see some more people are joining us on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, on Twitch or LinkedIn, feel free to say hello as well too. All right. And again, if you guys have questions, feel free to ask questions at any time. Or if you have questions later on, you can always, find me on Instagram or on Twitter under DYC Studios or Dussel York City Studios, and I can answer questions later on as well too. Okay, so we got that part of her ear. We're going to go right here. Kenny said, "Can I miss the part about the hands-free device you're using? Can you drop a quick explanation of what that is?" Ooh, I told everybody I wasn't going to really talk about devices, but right here, this is the Quick Keys remote from Sense Labs, just so you guys can see. And you can change it and set it up. I'm not going to go into a big discussion because I'm not selling products today. I am just talking about, doing art, but it's really cool, man. It is a game changer. It really will do a lot of things. But I think, there's a lot of good tools out there. You just have to really go out there and kind of explore and see what tool works best for you. But I like it. I think it's really nice. Okay, I'm just going to go just like this. And this line, oops, you can see there's a little booger. There's one too many nodes right there. So we're just going to erase that one node right there. All right. And I'm going to bring this down just a little bit, something like this. Maybe I'll get it a little bit more curved so it's kind of built into it. And then this one right here, I'm just going to adjust the width to, just to get rid of it, just so it's not so bad. And I like that shape. So for the next one, I'm going to do the same thing, something very similar. Again, all the lines need to attach. And we will probably adjust this one node right here. And again, I could be using the blob brush and I could be using pressure sensitivity, but today I'm not doing that. I'm just kind of like just showing you the basics that way, if you're using a mouse or whatever, it's okay. You can do the same thing that I'm doing. I'm just going to put that piece of hair like that. All right, cool. Now I need to finish the ear, and I need to actually put the other lines that aren't the ear into the hair layer. So I'm just going to drag these lines into this layer and this, because we'll end up creating a whole ear, and then we'll take it to the other side and duplicate it. Okay. So we want to get this right here. I'm going to switch over to something different. Thomas says, do you ever use live trace to generate vector from a raster, then tweak it manually, or are you always 100% manual reproduction? I like doing 100% manual reproduction, Thomas, because it allows me to really dive in there a little bit and fix things. I do want to adjust one little line real quick, this one line, because it's going to bug me. Something like this. And then let's take this line right here. But I like doing it this way because, if you notice the way I draw, it's probably because the way I draw with pencil sketch, that I do something that's kind of like, very, very hard edge, and I go over it and I sketch and scribble, so it's not like 100% clean line. That's why I do everything manually once I get into Illustrator. All right, so we're going to continue working on the ear, and I'm just going to choose maybe this shape. This is a good shape for this, and we're just going to draw again, something like that. And no, I don't like that one. We're just going to do it one more time. I'm actually going to rotate my canvas just so I get the line perfectly. And this is cool. You can always rotate your canvas. I'm going to rotate it the other way. Right there. And then I can just draw the line, because I always tend to draw better when I'm going down. I could probably actually go maybe to 120. There, that's good. So being able to rotate your canvas is something that really helps out as well too. That's nice. We're just going to boost that up to maybe like 3. And then I'll fix the end of the weight a little bit right here as well. Just so it interacts right there. And then I might boost this up just a little bit thicker. Something like this. Nothing too crazy. And then I like that line. I think that's a good line for the other line. So I'm just going to rotate that back to 0. There we go, right? Very nice. And we're going to get this line right here. Something like this. And I'm just going to move it because I just want to make sure that it's just kind of touching. Something like that right there. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to get into this right here. And I think maybe I like that line. I might adjust it a little bit. Something like that for the ear. Maybe I'll do it the opposite way. Just to get a little bit of more shape into it. And I'm going to take this down maybe a little bit smaller, a little bit thinner. Something like that. All right, so we got the ear done. but she's got a little bit of her ear showing on the other side. So very similar technique. I'm just going to duplicate this layer, duplicate layer, boom, there we go. Lock this layer, select all, and then I'm going to go into Object, Transform, and Reflect one more time. And again, I'm watching my time because once we hit about 15 minutes, we're going to switch over to coloring. And don't worry, I have already prepared this whole sketch as a drawing as well too. Okay, just going to take this and we're just going to, whoops, select it one more time. And we're just going to drag it over here and touch, something like this. Okay. Now you're going, oh no, Ken, it's going into her hair again. What to do? Well, we're going to go expand and we're just going to delete it. So Object, Expand Appearance, and boom, bada bing, there we go. We're going to get our trusty eraser out and we're just going to clean this up right here. Right there, something like this. Whoops, edit, undo. Sorry, you know what? It didn't completely expand. I need to go to Object, Expand one more time. Sometimes that happens with this outer line. Now we can do it right there. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Awesome possum. Let's get this cleaned up right here. And then let's cut this off right there. And now I'm just going to take my direct select tool and just select this right here. Hit delete again. Bada bing, bada boom. It's gone. Say goodbye. And now we're just going to zoom out. And I'm just going to show you what we've gotten so far. So we're going pretty fast. You know, this is looking really good. She's looking like a nice character. All right. Let's get the neckline next because I think that will be good. And then we can move into the face and then we can move into this. Excuse me. All right. Actually, I am going to take a drink of Monster Energy drink right now because when I stream, I usually need a little bit more energy. As you can tell, I'm always on the go. Fast, fast, fast. So whatever energy drink is, don't tell my wife that I'm drinking energy drinks while I stream and create artwork. She'll kill me, by the way, guys. She'll go, that's not bad. But I like it. I think it's good. So maybe it's because I'm a gamer. I like streaming and doing live things, and I think that's kind of become that. So we're going to work on our neckline real quick, and then we'll move into her eye. And let me switch this back to this. Right now we have a uniform length. I'm just going to make sure that my ends are capped and rounded, and we're just going to see if I can get this in one go. Something like that. I can fix that. No worries. We're going to get rid of those extra points. Like I said, we can always clean things up. And that's what I like about Illustrator is I can adjust points however I want, and I can always fix them at any time. And that's cool. If I was painting this as a painting, going back and redoing it, you might have to redo a lot, but that looks really good. I think I'm going to adjust just a little bit of this right here. Again, we're just going to use our width tool, and I'm just going to adjust this just a little bit thicker up here, not too much. And then maybe down here, maybe I'm just going to drag this line a little bit more this way. And then I'm going to make this a little bit more pointy. Okay. All right. Lizelle, I can see a masterpiece out there. Thank you. We're just going to make this a little bit more, smaller, a little bit more thinner. Not too much. Whoops, that's big. Just going to narrow it down. And then maybe this right here will make it a little bit thicker. Not too much. Not too much, because I don't like to give too much weight to body lines, but I think it's okay. All right. And so that looks good. We are going to do the rest of her neck and get that done as well too. And I'm just going to pause each time. I'm going to fix this little dot right there. Bring that in because I just need it just barely touching, a little bit overlapping for what we're going to do later on. And I'm just going to zoom out. I am going to take and move things over a little bit. Boom, right here. And we're just going to go down. It's like Bob Ross. I'm not painting happy trees. I'm making happy characters. All right, guys. So I'm just going to adjust this line a little bit just to get the curve a little bit nicer. And I'm just going to maybe bow this out just a little bit, something like this. Okay. All right. We're going to continue that line around, but I want to rotate my canvas a little bit. So I think I'm going to rotate it maybe 60 degrees. No, let's rotate it the other way, 60 degrees. Boom. Like this, guys. All right. And we're just going to continue this just like that. And then this little booger right here, I can't tell. Is it 2 lines? No, that's perfect. Awesome. Really cool, simple. Look how fast we're doing this. You know, just a little bit of lines, and that's cool. Okay, we're gonna rotate it a little bit more, maybe down to 90. Now let's take it to 135, something like that, and then we'll zoom out. Okay, all right, and we are going to draw this line right here. Okay, maybe I could go maybe a little bit more, maybe go to 150. Yep, there we go. Something like this. And now that bows out a little bit, but I can fix that. That's okay. I can easily go, boom, adjust the node, drag it in, and there we go. Really easy, guys, right? And we're going to rotate it maybe just a little bit more just so we can get the neck. And I think that's 60. Nope. Maybe the other 60. Nope. There we go. All right. And we're just going to draw that line into here. Okay. I'm just going to zoom in. And I got a little booger right there, but don't worry. I can easily delete that little booger. So delete anchor point. Sometimes you get little boogers when you're drawing. I like to call them boogers. I don't know what everybody else calls them. Excess nodes. But it's funny when I'm streaming. But again, it needs to touch. Okay, guys? Because that's going to be key. I'm going to go to 0 on rotation. And I'm going to zoom out just so you can see what she looks like so far. And we got about 10 minutes, and then I will start coloring. So we're going to try to get this going. I'm just going to turn this off. So right there, bam, we got in less than an hour, guys, we've already built like the shape of this like a girl character, which it looks really cool. Okay. Now I'm going to work on, I think, the eye and the eyebrow next. And I'm doing this in a whole new layer. So again, bam, breaking this out and hitting a new layer. Bada bing, bada boom. Didn't even have to touch Illustrator with anything, just with the push of the button. And I could have this just sitting there. Just go bam, bam, bam. I could go new layer, new layer, new layer. But I'm not going to do that. But just to show you guys that it's something cool that you can do. All right. And it's got a lot of other things. It's a nifty little device. But I'm not, like I said, I don't want to talk about devices too much today. I just want to draw. And we're going to create her eye. Okay. Now that's a little bit thick, and I don't want that to be that thick. So I'm just going to go like this, and we're going to adjust things as we go. So I think that's good. And then we're going to adjust maybe the thickness of this a little bit, just a little bit. And right here, just a little bit. Something like that. Okay. All right. And now I'm going to start working on her eyelashes. And again, this is something that, you know, it doesn't have to match 100%. We're going to do this in shapes because we're going to color it in later on. So it doesn't matter. I'm going to go a little bit smaller, maybe 0.7, something like this. And whoops. You know what? I'm going to do it from this way. Something like that. And I'm going to change this from gray because I can't really see gray on black. So I'm going to change this to green. If you're ever working in a color too, and then the line kind of blends in too much, just go for something neon and then you can see it. Okay. I'm just going to go like this. And then I'm just going to clean this up with my smooth tool. Whoops. Something like that. In fact, we can get rid of this line right here. That's fine. And then I want to smooth this out, make this a little bit more rounded. something like this. And I don't need this point either. And I don't need that point either. I'm just going to adjust this node right here and make it a little bit more feminine. Okay, something like that. Again, so this will all be black. We'll fill this in black later on, but I just want to get the idea of the lines for her eyelashes. And again, this doesn't have to be perfect, guys. I'm going to go with uniform, and we're going to go down a little bit smaller. Oops, I don't like that line. Something like this. And it's completely fine. That looks good. We're going to get the second one. Again, super easy. And then let's get the third one right here. Okay. And this one I want to change a little bit. It's not going to look exactly like what we did before. It's going to be a little bit different. Or it's not going to match the pencil. Okay, something like that. Select it, and we'll do the other side. And then I'm just going to adjust this. Just going to move this shape around just so till I get it right where I want to go. Something like that. Perfect. Awesome. And now we're going to do the bottom of our line. And when I'm coloring, there's a little secret technique that I do that I'll show you guys later on. In fact, I might actually adjust this a little bit right here, this end point. I end up bringing in an invisible line later on. And I'll show you guys later on how to do that. Whoops, edit, undo. Okay, whatever. We're going to leave it alone for right now. Okay, we'll go with the uniform line again. Make sure the caps are rounded. And then we will choose something maybe like 0.7. Whoops, edit, undo. Oh, I accidentally. Okay, all right. Sorry. Now we'll go on a new line and do maybe like 0.7. And then we'll draw a new line and it will be uniform. Okay. And I think I'm going to rotate my canvas just a little bit clockwise, so maybe 30, just so I can get a little bit, in. Something like that. And now we can adjust it. That's actually a pretty clean line. That's not so bad. All right. Let's adjust it just a little bit on the front end and the back end with the width. Just make it a little bit smaller there and move this one a little bit smaller as well too. That's fine. Perfect. Awesome. And I noticed that this isn't exactly as round as I want it. So I'm just going to push this one out a little bit like that. And I think if I turn this off, I'm going to be happy with it. Yep, I'm happy. That looks nice. All right. Going to bring this back to 0. And boom, there's part of the eye already. Again, we're going to color this in a little bit later on. Maybe this could go down a little bit more or match this. I don't know. It's completely okay. It's just kind of playing with it. And again, it doesn't have to match the pencil sketch 100%. It's completely okay to change things as you go. All right, I'm just going to do new layer real quick. So I'm just pushing my little button right there. Bam. And we are going to bring in the eyeball. Okay. All right. And I'm going to choose my circle ellipse tool. And I'm just going to make something like this. Oh, it needs to be uniform line. There it is. I'm going to take this down to like 0.5. It doesn't need to be too thick. I'm going to duplicate that. Well, you know what? We can actually go. First, let's double click and change it to a different color. Green. Bam. That way we can see our line. Black on black just doesn't show up, guys. And we're going to do the iris right here. And I just want to finish the eye, and then I'll show you, we'll begin coloring. I've already prepped something else. But just to give you an idea of how you can quickly do things in Illustrator. Now I'm just going to do this. I'm going to do Object Expand. Okay, right here. Okay. And now I'm just going to clean up the eyeball right here. And then I'll do the eyebrow real quick, and then I'll show you guys how to color. And I've already prepped the illustration a little bit farther, so it'll be like, oh, we did a time jump because we're time travelers, and you'll see how it could look. So this looks really good right there. Now let's just do the eyebrow real quick. And good is. Okay, I'm just going to move this into this layer. And we're just going to push new layer. Bam, boom, bada bing, new layer. And let's get the eyebrow just really quickly. And just go to like this. And then maybe something like this. Okay. And I'm going to go in a little bit smaller because her eyebrow wasn't exactly the way I wanted it to begin with. So it's completely okay. Something like that. And then let's curve this one in. All right, perfect, awesome. And then we're going to adjust this real quick. Something like this right here, just to get it a little bit more rounded. And I think I'm going to take this curve in and bring it in a little bit more, make it more dynamic. And I'm going to go into my layers, and I'm just going to hide the illustration real quick so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to zoom in, and we are going to get the points to line up. Like I said, the points lining up is going to be very important for the process that I'm doing, because when we go to color, they need to overlap or touch to some extent. Okay, perfect. Awesome on that side. And then let's fix this one right here. It can extend a little bit farther. It's fine. Something like that. Whoops, this is pointed right there. That's not a good line. Let me zoom in and see what's going on with this. And I'm a nerd. I admit I will notice things that are like wonky or weird looking. So I'll pick up on that. If you were to ask my students, they're like, Ken has eagle eyes, and he will tell you if something is not lining up 100%. I'm really, when you get me into like Adobe InDesign and things of that nature, I get really anal retentive and will like be looking and going, okay, all right. That looks like a nice eyebrow. It's a little bit thicker than probably what I would maybe want, but that's fine. So I'm going to bring the eyebrow into this layer and just go bam, bada bing, bada boom. There we go. And then I'm just going to duplicate this, duplicate layer, because I want to have the eyes matching. I want to have them symmetrical. I can always draw two eyes on a piece of paper, but if you're looking straight forward, it's so much easier just to duplicate it and then flip it. I'm just going to go like this, but first I'm going to create a new layer. And I'm going to rename this one guides. And this, I'm going to show my rulers, view rulers, show rulers right there. And I'm just going to drag something in the middle like this so I can get everything lined up. Okay. And I'm going to lock this. I'm only going to use one guide in it, but we're going to go like this. We're just going to select all layers. We're going to go edit, and we're going to object, transform, and reflect. Okay. Boom. And then I'm just going to click and drag that over here. Okay. First, I'm going to look and see how far I want to drag it. Something like this. And it doesn't have to be exactly the same, because I now have this guideline. I know where the center of our face is. So I'm trying to eyeball it to see how much space is there and how much space is here, and seeing if it matches up slightly. Okay. All right. Now everything needs to be kind of trimmed down like we did before. And let me just go click it all one more time and go to Object, Expand Appearance. And then I'm just going to do Object Expand just one more time, just to make sure everything is expanded. And we're going to get rid of all the excess eyeball right there. Okay. Again, just with the eraser, bada bing, bada boom, just going right through here, cleaning it up. And now we can easily go through and get rid of the excess. Boom. 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 Okay. All right. And then I'll zoom out and you can see what we have so far. So she is looking good. I can actually hide that guideline now. And you can see she looks good. And now you know what? You should always do file save. Always save your work as you go because you don't want to cry later on if something stalls on you or crashes. So save. And we're just going to do test underscore Adobe com, and I'm just going to put PILL since we're doing this for the Philippines, and I am saving this. I mean, we're doing it for the Philippines, but it's going out worldwide, so really cool. And see, she kind of looks like, you know, a character that you would see either for like Riot Games or Blizzard, you know, really cute, cool, cute girl. Okay, so now it's 1 o'clock. We have about 1 hour left, if I'm correct. So what I want to do is start coloring. So we're going to pretend we're in a time machine, guys, a time machine, if you will. And boom. Oh, wow. Guess what? Ken rebuilt her. Okay. So last night I went through and created the whole character. This way I could show you guys how to color. So, you know, we have this much so far. I showed you how to get this far in creating lines. I think you know how to create lines now. And then we are going to work on coloring. All right. And again, if you guys get the original illustration for this, if they're nice enough to send it to you, then make sure you give me a tag on Instagram at Dusel York City Studios or at Ken Shinneberry. And on Facebook, if you post it there, DYC Studios and at Kenneth Shinneberry. And on LinkedIn at Kenneth Shinneberry as well too. And then on Twitter, if you show your work there that you did based on this illustration, then you can go, you know, tag me at kshinneberry212 or DYC Studios 212. I have several links that you guys can follow. Now, this is interesting because I recreated, this is kind of like a hovering, floaty kind of communication device. You can tell I've been playing a lot of Cyberpunk, you know, and love CD Projekt Red. Really cool guys and girls over there. So originally I wanted it to look like this, but I wasn't happy with it. So maybe like a day or two later, I was like, okay, let's create this new kind of floaty device. It's kind of curved. And I built it. I was like, okay, all right. You know, we'll just build it and make it nice and something new. So pretend that we've done all the line art on this. Now, what we need to do is expand everything. I'm going to go ahead and delete this guideline right now. Well, you know what? I'll leave it right now. But I need to expand every piece of line. I need to make everything into a shape. And I think this one's already expanded. So this is the communicator device. I built it separately. Object, and I'm just going to do expand and make sure it's all expanded. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to go over here to every line. I'm just going to select one by one. And I'm just going to make sure that I go each time that whatever is selected is expanded. This is the ear. It's already expanded. That's okay. That's great. We're going to check the other ear because I didn't expand that one. So I know I have to. Let's expand this right here. Just going to go object, expand appearance, and I'm just going to do expand one more time because see, this line didn't expand, and boom, it is all a shape now. It is no longer a path. All right, now this eye is already expanded because we did that earlier, and I'm going to show you. We're going to have to do a trick. There's going to be a trick that we're going to do because we can't color her in a way that that it works. So this is already expanded. We're going to do this eye right here. I'm just going to drag over with my little mouse there. And we are going to object, expand appearance, object, expand. Just to make sure we have everything going right there. Okay. So that eye is expanded. Perfect. Awesome. We are going to expand this. And this is, let's see what things right there. This is going to be like the nose shape and the mouth. Again, I built this all last night. And we're going to expand this. Object, expand appearance, object, expand. Just to make sure everything is an object. And I might remove the one line right here. I don't know. When I get into coloring, I'll decide what lines I want to keep. And then we have the outside of her whole hair and everything like that. Let's go to object, expand appearance, object, expand. All right. Okay, cool. Now there's one little thing. If I were to do this, and this is going to be a trick that you guys can learn, is if I were to do this and I were to do live paint, this would fill. So how do we fix this, guys? That's easy. I'm going to show you guys right now how to do this. I'm just going to click anywhere on the screen. We're going to do just a line, and I will show you. I'm going to make it, we're going to make it pink for right now. It doesn't matter. I don't care. We're going to make it pink. I'm going to create a new layer just to have it. Boom. All right. And then I'm just going to take my, because I need to make it precise. And let's make it really thin. All right. And I'm going to go to maybe 0.25. Maybe even I'll even go smaller. But I'm just going to adjust it, the path and everything like that. So we're going to go like this. And then we're going to go, let's get this a little bit nicer looking. A little bit cleaner. Move it something like this. Move this one up here. And then let's make this really thin, guys. Let's make this like extremely thin. In fact, it's going to be so thin that I have to type it in. Okay. Boom. And now I'm just going to line it up where it touches. And see how it goes in like this? And I'm just going to maybe smooth this a little bit more. Maybe this one needs to be up a little bit. Oops, just trying to get the line to kind of curve with it. That's something okay. All right, maybe I'm just going to move this one up just a little bit too. Okay, now we need to duplicate this line and we need to bring that line over to the other side. Okay, easy peasy. I'm just going to go to Object, and this one I'm going to go Copy. So I'm going to go to Object, Transform, Reflect, and Copy. All right. Whoops, Edit, Undo. Sorry, didn't have it all selected. Only had part of it selected. Okay. Select all, Object, Transform, Reflect, Copy. Okay. Now, I'm just going to close this. I am going to drag this line over here and get it kind of as good lined up as I can. Okay. Now this is where we do the tricky part. This is where Ken works his magic. I'm going to do Object Expand, and it is now a path. Now, you know what? I'm going to get rid of the color. I don't want this to be visible anymore. I want it to be invisible. It's going to be a little hidden line that nobody knows is there but us. It's our little secret. It's our little dirty secret right there hidden. Okay, guys? So now there is a line there, but it's hidden. So I'm going to go into my layers. I'm going to label this Hidden Eye Line. Okay? Boom. Perfect. Awesome, guys. Now everything is expanded. We have this nice looking girl. We have this little hidden line there. And I'm going to create a whole new layer. And I'm going to just drag every little piece of her into this layer right here. Okay. All right. I'm going to get rid of the guideline. I don't think I need it. All right. Perfect. Awesome. And if I've done everything correctly, this will work out. If not, I'll just go hide. Okay. All right. And I'm going to name this Safety. Okay. Do not erase. Okay. And I am going to lock that, and I'm going to duplicate it. And I'm going to name this one Line Art. And then I'm going to duplicate it. And I'm going to duplicate this one and call this one Live Paint. And this one I'm going to hide. This is just a safety one. Now, I'm going to select the line art layer. I'm going to unlock it first. Select it, okay? And then I'm going to make sure it's all invisible. Boom. Well, edit, undo. You know what? Yep. All invisible. So all the lines are there, but they are invisible. See, all the lines are there, but they are invisible now. Okay. Now I'm going to go over here to Object, and I'm going to go to Live Paint. Whoops. Why is it not doing it? Let's go. Actually, we'll turn it back to pink. It doesn't matter what color it is. Now I'll do object, live paint, and make. Okay. Now I can turn it invisible. Okay. Now I can turn the lines invisible. All right. Now she's there. The lines are there. You just can't see them. Okay. Perfect. Awesome. Unless they change something in Illustrator, we are okay. I'm going to turn this back on. And now we have this live paint layer. And I'm going to duplicate this a couple times. So we have it for maybe different parts of her. And I'm going to name this one maybe hair. And I'm going to duplicate another one. And whoops, edit, undo. Duplicate this one. We can duplicate a couple of them. Duplicate selection. Okay, so I'm going to name this one face. I'm going to name this one neck. This one will be, I think that's, let's do communicator. Okay. And we are going to now color the various areas. Okay. All right. And I'm going to create a new layer right here. And this one's just going to be our color palette, so we're just going to have colors. So this way we can get our colors going. Okay. We want to get like a skin tone. So she is going to be kind of a peachy color, but we can make her any color we want. Something like this. Maybe get a little bit more pink in there. And I can always adjust this. Okay, now I'm going to go to the live paint for the face. I'm going to turn that on. And we are going to paint her face. Now I need to go to the live paint tool. And bam, look, boom. And because we made that little fake line right there, we have it where her eye didn't fill in white. How cool is that? I'm going to rename this one Live Paint Safety, because I may end up creating new areas. And the reason I'm doing this in different areas is because I want to eventually do shadow and shade, and I will have to do that and, crack things a little bit. So we're just going to do this in the neck layer now. So right here for the neck, bam, boom, bing. But I need to maybe make sure that I have my colors saved. So on this color area right here, I'm just going to create, what colors I'm coloring. Okay. All right. So let's go for our hair. And first person who types in the chat gets to decide her hair. I don't care if you're on Twitch or something like that. Type really quick the color of the hair, and our guys from the Adobe Community Philippines will put that on the screen, and that's going to be the color of her hair. So quickly decide, guys, who's going to decide the color of her hair. Go ahead, decide the color of her hair, and we'll make it that way. Okay, guys? Okay, who's going to be the first person to decide the color of her hair? All right. What color hair do you guys want her to have? And I guess I should do another layer for the ears real quick as well, too. All right. Thomas says green hair. Zombie says red. Okay. All right. Since Kenny says purple. Okay. Okay. Green. We got to vote for green. Okay. Awesome. Love it. Love it, guys. All right. Another person said red. V's color is red. V's color is kind of like a reddish pink, but she's not V, so let's not make her V. Pink. All right, got some good. I love it. I love you guys posting and like sharing. This is really cool. Okay, guys, so we're gonna make her pink, but I need to color her ear first before I forget. So I'm just gonna color her ear and get that in there, and boom, get her ears. Okay, so we're gonna go with pink hair. Maybe a pinkish, maybe we'll try a couple things. We'll test it out. Okay, guys, we'll test it out. All right. So I'm going to click on her hair right here, and let's test out a color first. Whoops, let's click off this, and let's try what she would look like with pink hair, since a couple guys put pink. We'll do maybe kind of like a pinkish, and then we'll try green too, because I just want to see what it could be. Whoops, did I do something wrong with her ear? Oops, I put her ear in the wrong place. edit, undo, edit, undo. Whoops, edit, undo. Okay. Ah, God bless. Edit, undo. Okay. All right. I need to make her ears in here first. We'll get her ear color first, and then we'll do the hair color. Okay. Now I'll lock that just for right now. Okay. Now let's go for. We'll try this in pink first, and then we'll try green. We'll just kind of play around. Okay. So we'll try pink. We'll find a nice kind of a rosy pink, not too bright, not too something like this, and we'll try pink. So right there, that's what she would look like with pink. Let's try green because I know you guys put green in there. You know, let's see what green would look like. Right there is green. Maybe that's somebody typed in red. Maybe we'll go in with a little bit of a kind of a darker red, maybe kind of like a burgundy. That looks kind of neat too, but I feel it matches the skin tone too much. So I think I might go with pink. Somebody also typed in purple, I remember. Let's check out purple. So we could do any color. See how fast we can change the colors? How cool is that, right, guys? Now we're just going to go maybe with that pink that we had in the beginning because I think that's kind of cool. Something like this, okay? Now I want to get her hair strands, so we'll get her little hair strands as well too. And right here. So we got pink hair. All right, perfect, awesome, love it. Let's do another layer for her eyebrows. Whoops, let's get the pink in here. That way we have it later on. So we'll do this in the color area. And what we're doing is by doing that, we're going to create, shades. So we'll go for darker or lighter later on, but I'm going to try to get this as done as possible. All right. We get her eyebrows. Eyebrows tend to be a little bit darker. So I'm just going to do another or duplicate of this, and we're going to name this eyebrows. Okay. All right. And I'm going to unlock that. And I'm just going to go a little bit darker for the eyebrows. Something like maybe a little bit like this. Okay. And get her eyebrows in there. Oh, she looks pretty good so far. I like this. I'm digging her. She's awesome. And then let's get the duplicate, and we're going to do eye, white, and black. That's fine. Okay. And we'll get the eyes, white, and black. Okay. White, and then let's get the black for the center. And then let's zoom in. We're going to go ahead and get her eyelashes too. Okay. And I'm going to lock that. Okay. Now there's one thing we need to do that is going to be very important because we still have this invisible line. So if we were to, print this out right now, you would see a little line right there. And if we were printing this on like a purple background or something like that, the purple would come through. So we need to, create kind of like what I call a cheat layer. And that cheat layer is going to go right here. And I'm going to name this iFix. And you won't notice this, but later on, if you were doing the whole graphic, you would notice it. So I just need to cover up that little invisible line right there that we have. All right, that's really nice. She's looking pretty good. So we got pink eyebrows and the hair. Let's work on the eyes because the eye technique is something that I do that's really special. And I think you guys will really enjoy that. Okay. All right. You know what? I might actually have to do the eyebrows a little bit later on. Thomas says non-printing layer. Yeah, even if you're printing or, you were to put a background in it, that little invisible line would appear, and whatever color is the background would show through. So that's why we had to do this like fix layer, So the fix layer is just simply protecting us because you'll see if we zoom in, if I were to make one pink, you would see that it would be kind of a thing. So it's just something to let you guys know. If you do that little like that where the lines don't connect, you need to do that. Okay. And it's just a little trick that I learned. So we're going to do the eye color, and the eye color is something that I've kind of learned over time and kind of developed. And I started this as a marker process. So we're going to do the eye color, and this will take a few different layers to do, but it's going to be really nice. It'll be really cool, guys. All right. I'm just going to go like this. And what color would you guys like your eyes? Maybe blue? I think blue would be nice. Blue would be nice, right, guys? Don't you guys think blue is a nice color for eyes? I have beautiful blue eyes. My wife loves them. All right. So we're just going to go, and we're going to start out with dark blue first. And this is my technique for creating eyes. And when you zoom out, this is going to look really awesome, okay? So I'm going to use, maybe I'll use the paintbrush tool. I don't know. And I need to make this a little bit smaller. Oops, let's go back to paintbrush, and then let's go to size and shrink it down. Oops, I don't know. Ah, okay, weird. Okay, something like this. Okay, now I am going to do her eyes. Okay, we're gonna paint this color in, and let's go just a tad smaller. Oops. Something like this. And now it doesn't have to be smooth because we're layering on this. And this, like every eye has a unique pattern. And so by doing this, we're going to create our own unique pattern. Okay. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't, you're just doing this random. The more random it is, the better. Okay. And I'm just going to go like this. Okay. And we're going to get the eyes like this. Okay. Maybe make this one just a little bit like that. Okay, perfect. Now we need to go to the other eye. And you're like, oh God, Ken, this is a task. But you'll see when we're done, it's going to look really cool. Maybe make it a little bit smoother. And again, it's nice to have the ridges and the mountains. And I'm going fast, but I'll touch it up a little bit. Okay, all right, that looks nice. I'm going to zoom out real quick. Actually, we're going to do the next part. Sorry. So we need to do a new layer behind the eye. So every new layer for this is going to go behind. Whoops, that didn't work out the way I wanted it to. We'll do it like this. Okay. Now I need to go a little bit lighter. So we're going to do this in stages. And each new portion that we're doing is going to be is a little bit lighter. So on each layer, let's lock the old layer. So let's lock this one. And then let's do the lighter color. Again, it's in stages. And we're just building on it. So this will over time add up, and you're going to have this eye that when you zoom out, it looks really kind of realistic and really cool. And you guys can call this the KENN method if you ever refer to this, because I think I'm one of the only people that does it this way. But it looks really nifty when you get done. Okay, we got to go to the other side of the other eye. I'm just going to quickly drag across here. And again, we're just going like this. And I can have a little bit of shape. It doesn't matter. The idea is to kind of build up over time. And make sure you get every little piece as well, too. And just kind of, you're building up around what you already drew. Okay, now we need to lock that one, and we're going to go one more layer down. Same process. Again, we're going to go a little bit lighter. And the eyes, trust me, guys, this will look pretty dope. It's going to look cool. I'm bringing back 80s terms. We're going to dope, cool, radical, tubular. It's going to look awesome. All right. And you can see we're just, layering things up a little bit. All right, guys. She's going good. Building things up. Okie dokie. Now we need to zoom in onto the other side. Whoops, there's one little place right here that just needs to be fixed. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Let's drag to the other side and let's get this right here. Okie dokie. All right. I love this. And I love looking up because I have a really cool Elgato cam. Elgato sent me a nice Christmas present, the Elgato face cam. And I tell you what, I might as well throw my old Logitech camera out the window because the Elgato cam looks so nice and so rich. And you really see the Govee lights behind me too. So if you're a streamer, you want to get into streaming, then definitely look at the Elgato face cam because it's pretty nice. Okay, I'm going to lock this. I'm going to hit one more up here. And then I got the Elgato key light above me as well too. So it's really nice. I love their products. We're going to go up just a little bit more. And I'm going to do another little shade lighter. And you see this builds up over time. Oops. All right. Very cool. And I'm trying to go faster now just because time-wise, I want to get, show you more than just coloring eyes. But you guys will love this. This is such a cool technique. And if you look at my Behance portfolio or you look at my portfolio online, you'll see that I do a lot of zooming in on the eye so you can see like what I created. And you'll see that this technique, I love to do it. And again, it's just adding up. And it gets really, really neat. And anybody can do this. It's such a cool technique. I think it's because the way I discovered this is I did a drawing of Rick Grimes from Walking Dead and then Henry Cavill as Superman. And I did this kind of whole marker thing and the same technique, but for the whole entire picture. And that's where I discovered like doing eyes. And I've done the eyes like this ever since. So we're going to do a new layer. All right. And then we're going to go a little bit lighter again. And I might start making the lines just a little bit bigger for time's sake. Okay, let's get the other side. And it adds up. It's literally like building layers. But when you zoom out, it looks awesome. It looks so awesome that it's pretty cool. Okay, let's get the next one in there. So new layer, really cool. And again, I will try to make this a little bit bigger each time just for, safety's sake for time-wise, because I don't want to spend too much time on the eyes. But we will get this going. But it's all adding up. And you'll see we'll add like some highlights and shadows and things of that nature. Oops, that's okay. Well, maybe it's not. Okay, all right. Let's move back to the other side and get the other eye. All right, guys. Really cool. See how it's adding up? And it's just building and building on top of it. Okie dokie. Get the next layer. And I think I'm going to make my brush a little bit bigger just for time's sake. Just so, we don't run out of time. And I want to do other color techniques just to show you guys. So, okay. I'm just going to zoom over here. And I would normally do this with the same size of brush that I started out with. So if I started out with something small, I just work my way around. So it will have a different outcome than what I normally do, but the idea is the same. And I just want to get it to where you guys can see what I'm going to do, because there is a couple other little steps to it as well too. Just going to add another layer. Let's get that next lighter color. Okay. And yeah, it's a little bit thicker than it'll look a little different because I normally don't do them that thick. Okay. All right. But for time, whoops, what's going on there? Oh, what's going on? Did I make a booger? I might have made a mistake. Let me see. What's going on with this eye? Why? Ah, I see. It needs to go down. Okay, perfect. Okay, awesome. I was wondering, why is it getting covered over? It's like funny. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Then we can lock that next one, and then a little bit lighter. New layer, lock. Okay, all right. And I don't know how many people have like emulated this, because I've showed this a lot on Behance too. This little technique, and people love it. But I don't know how many people have tried it on their own. So if you ever try this on your own and you share it on social media, tag me, on Facebook, either DYC Studios or Deuce New York City Studios, or my own personal one, and I'll take a look at it just to see how you guys like this technique of your own. Okay, we'll go a little bit lighter. We'll just fill in the rest maybe. Just for time's sake, we'll just fill in the rest like this. Okay, all right. Like normally, like I said, I would do this a little bit more. And just to zoom out, just to show you what it looks like right now. But see, your eyes look almost like real. They kind of almost have this kind of like glowy kind of look. And now I want to put all these into one group. So I'm just going to just put everything into one group. And I'll name this Iris Colors. I'll lock it. And then I need to do some shading. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do, since this is behind everything, it's completely okay. We are just going to do a little bit of shading. Whoops, let's turn this like this. And this is going to be black. So let's change the color to black. Okay. All right. And do the other side. Okay. All right. Then I need to select all, because what we're going to do now is do a little bit of a blur. So just a little bit of a Gaussian blur, Gaussian, whatever you want to call it. Just a little bit of a blur. And just to make it where it spreads out a little bit more. Something like that. And then I'm just going to move over to the other side so I can see what's going on. And then I'm just going to adjust the opacity just a little bit, just so it gets like this like little bit of a darker edge. So this is like a darker shade eyes, and this is where you really kind of need to pay attention to what you're doing. And like, okay, bam, bada bing, bada boom, we have that right there. Okay, cool, awesome. Now I want to add a little bit of a lighter shade to it, and we're going to go just like this and do something similar, but we're going to change this to white. And boom. And then I'm going to do one on the other side as well too. As long as it's kind of the same, it doesn't have to be 100% perfect, but it doesn't have to match 100%. But something like this. And then we're going to select both of them, and we're going to do the same thing. We can maybe just do actually apply the Gaussian blur again one more time. And let's lower the opacity just a little bit. And now check this out, guys. When we zoom out, whoops. We zoom out, it's going to look pretty dope. Okay. So now her eyes, we have that. And let's name this light, highlight, eyes, iris. Okay. And then we can put this all in that little folder right there. Okay, that looks nice. So our eyes look really cool. Let's get maybe a little bit of a highlight in there. So we're just going to go above. We have to go above our line art in order to get the highlight. So we're just going to do something like this. And then I'm going to do one more. I'm just going to drag this up here. Oops, let's zoom in. Okay, and then I'm just going to combine those with the path tool. Where's it hiding at? Right here. Okay. One solid shape. And object. We're just going to click on it, hold our Alt key and down and drag over here. Ooh, we might need to put this a little bit under. We might need to put it under the line art because the way we have the eye. And let's do select all. Ooh, I'm getting hungry. You can tell I love you guys. I love you guys so much that I'm working through my lunch hour. Normally I would eat because it's like now from noon to 2 is the time for us in Germany. So I would normally eat right now, but I love you guys so much. And I'm so honored to be like doing this for Adobe Community Philippines that I am skipping lunch today. That's crazy. Ken never does that. But for you guys, I am. All right, we're just going to do a little bit of a blur right here, Gaussian blur. Not too much, just a little bit. And I think I need to bring this down under the line art for this one. Not all the time when I do this for every piece of artwork, but right there. Ah, somebody wrote, "We love you too." Love it. You guys are the best. All right, we are just going to type in now highlight circles, I don't know, eyes, and lock it. Boom. Nice. She is looking good. Let's zoom out to see what we got so far. All right, we got her like this. I'm going to make another duplicate of this and another duplicate, and we're going to get the lip color. And we'll do with the upper lip first. And now I think I want to go with maybe like purple lips, because you guys said you guys like purple eye, you wanted purple hair. Some of you guys said. I think we'll go with like purple for the lips. Okay, go a little bit darker, something like this for the top one, and this will be upper lip. And let's get the right here and this. Let's put in this for the lip. Okay. All right. Lock it. Go into our upper lip and go into live paint. And right there, we got that. Now the lower lip needs to be a little bit lighter, because it's just the way lights fall on us mostly. Like if you were to zoom in on me, you'd see that my lower lip just has a little bit of a lighter tinge. It's the same color as my upper lip. I'm not weird or anything like that, but usually when light hits and reflects, it's just, it is what it is. All right. And I'm going to lock this, unlock this, and we're going to make this a little bit lighter for the lower lip. Not much, just a little bit. Something like this. Okay. All right. Barely can notice it. And now we want to keep that. Okay. All right. I want to start coloring her little communication device, her floating communicator. So that's my next thing. And if I were to do this, I would probably do the same thing where I create a lot of different layers, but I'm not going to do that right now, just for safety's sake. I'm just going to make it a solid color. Okay. So we're just going to duplicate, oops, don't want to duplicate lower lip. We'll duplicate the safety. Oh, we already made the communicator. All right. We already made it. Okay. Now I think this is going to be a little bit of like a colorful and gray. So I'm thinking, let's see, we'll get the gray tone first, because I have an idea of where I want the gray tones to be. And then do I want it there or there? There. Okay. All right. Perfect. Awesome. So we got the gray tone on that one. We're going to go a little bit, maybe a little darker. Not much, but a little darker. Right here. And then right here. And then here. And then here. Okay. That looks nice. And then we're going to zoom in. And I think we're going to do something with maybe like a little bit, maybe a kind of a amberish maybe color. I don't know, something like this, just maybe different. And again, you can always change this later on, as long as you're not doing the shading, then it's okay. All right. And I think I'm going to go in and make this a little bit darker, because I need to for that. And then maybe we'll make this a little bit darker up here. You know what? I'm going to go in lighter. Okay. And I think maybe this piece right here will also be gray as well too. And then again, this is just playing around with colors. And then I think for this piece right here, let's go again with like something kind of orangish gray. Like that. And I kind of like that color. That's kind of cool. So let's do, well, yeah, do I want to do that? No, edit, undo. Okay. We'll get maybe these in that color. And then I think, let's go ahead and take this gray right here and make this. And let's see, just picking grays just for fun. Okay, and then I need to get that darker gray right in there. So I'm just zooming in. Okay. Wow, we are flying along today. And now just for fun, I'm going to do something totally different. I'm going to duplicate this, make another duplicate color, because maybe I'll make a glow later on. I don't know. But we'll make another duplicate. Duplicate, paint safety, and I'm going to take this up under communicator, and I'm going to name this glowing. Maybe if we have time, we'll make it glow. I don't know. We'll see how much time we have. All right. So I think I'm going to make this like kind of like a neon green kind of thing, get that kind of like cyberpunkish kind of thing going on. And then we're just going to, maybe add some green right there. And maybe later on I would make a glow or something. Let's zoom in on this. So we have the base colors almost done, I believe, which is good. Not too bad. We've got about 10 minutes left. So if we were doing this in the highlights, the shadows and so forth like that, then we would have a lot more time. But I think, just to show you guys how you could do like shadows and stuff, we will do the eyebrow shade and then or highlight, and then we'll do the, maybe the hair a little bit, maybe the skin, I don't know. But we'll try to get something done so you guys can see how I would shade and stuff like that. All right. Now, have our purple right here. We'll go for a little bit lighter. And I'm just going to do a little bit of a highlight on the eyebrows. And see, it was smart to like, do everything in different layers when coloring, because then I can do this. I'm not worried about, messing up. I think I might go a little bit lighter. And then I'm just going to do Gaussian blur effect. Let's do blur. Gaussian blur right there. Just a little bit. And this part of our highlighted eyebrow would be under her hair, so we're not going to do that. And then, I think I want to lower the opacity just a little bit. Because I usually will end up, when I do these blur techniques, I will kind of lower them where they're just barely noticeable, just so it kind of goes in. Okay. All right. So she's got a little bit of a shadow to her there. Let's go ahead and do. Just for fun, let's start doing the highlight for her face. Okay. All right. So we already got our skin color. Everything's in different layers. We're going to get some highlights for her face. We're going to select her skin. Whoops. New layer. And then we're going to choose just a lighter color. We're going to get some, lightness to her. Okay. And then we'll do a little bit of shadows. Like I said, we got 10 minutes. We can get a little bit. Okay. So I'm just going to put like maybe a little highlight for her chin right there. I'm going to go to effect. We're going to go to blur, Gaussian blur, something like that. Now I will need to lower this to maybe 19%, something like that. This way it doesn't, it's just there. It just barely shows up, and if we do this in a few different spots, you'll start to see that, she has different colors. In fact, I normally would do her eyeline too, but I don't know if we're going to have time for that. Okay. So I would theoretically, maybe now the way I did this one, I would probably go into Photoshop and do the eyeline, but, and I need to do her nostril color too, but that's okay. All right. Let's get another one. So this is chin highlight, and then we'll lock that. We'll do the forehead highlight. And I'm just going to check to see under appearance, do I have that one up? window appearance. No, I don't. Right there. We already have the blur attached to it, so that's perfect. And it's at 19%. Awesome. Cool. All right. And then we want to add maybe a little bit of highlight to her nose as well too. Maybe we'll go up a little bit. Maybe we'll go to just a little bit on it, just so you can see in spots. And I think for this one, I'm going to take this piece right here and something like that. Okay. And then I want to get, a little highlight right there as well too. And I'm just going to duplicate this. To do it or no? Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Awesome. So just so you see, if I were to hide this, you'd see just a little bit right there, just barely a little bit of highlight. Okay. All right. So these are additional highlights. Okay. And now we want to give maybe some rosy cheeks or something. Actually, I would do like a nose thing, to be honest with you, right here. I'm just doing this kind of quickly. So, but you can see how the you can end up quickly with, like, several thousand layers. I mean, it just goes quick. Okay, let's do some highlights on the ear. I'm going to take my pencil out. Oops, got to do another layer. And I normally either do the shadows or the highlights first. It just depends. I want to get rid of this effect. I need to do a different blur on it, maybe. Let's go to appearance, window, appearance. Let's get rid of this part. And let's take this up so I can see. And let's go a little bit lighter. Why? Okay, I see. Because the ear. What did I do the ear layer? Okay. I accidentally put the ear in with the hair. See, that's a mess up, but that's okay. All right, that's why. Okay. Not to worry. I could fix that, but we'll just do it from like this. So, effect. Let's do blur, Gaussian blur, and that's not so bad. Something like this. And then let's just knock that opacity down to like next to nothing. Just so we see a little bit. I don't want it to look too weird, And then we'll do a little piece right here as well too. And then we'll move over to the other side. And then I'll give her some rosy cheeks. Okay. Awesome. Now let's do the cheeks. So again, trying to keep this on time because we are almost running out of time. Highlight, ear. And this is where, when you're doing the highlights and shading, you really need to do it. And when I do Clip Studio Paint, if you ever see me do Clip Studio Paint, I will do something similar. Ooh, that one piece right there is killing me. It's too bright. Let's take this down to 15. Okay. All right. So we're going to give her some rosy cheeks. And just going to take this over and make it a little bit more pinker. And then I am going to zoom in and we'll give her some rosy cheeks. And I would probably go and give her freckles later on in Photoshop as well. But it all adds up. It all adds up over time. Now I want to get rid of the appearance on it and get rid of the Gaussian blur, because I'll redo that. And I want to get rid of the this. So let's do this. We'll move it up just a little bit, something like this. And then we'll go effects. We'll do a new blur just for this object. Well, you know what? Let's do this first. Let's do object, transform, reflect, copy, and let's put this over here. Kind of balance it a little bit. Select both. Now we'll go into effect, and then we'll go into blur, Gaussian blur, and something like that. And then what I'll do is I will lower the opacity, just so you get a little bit of tint of pink on her cheeks, not too much. And then if we zoom out, we have a little bit, you can see just a little bit of pink on our cheeks. But we would do this process with the hair, and I would probably do clipping mask. I'll do one more thing, and then I think we are almost out of time, I believe, if I'm correct. If you guys can let me know. All right. And so what I would do is in my layers menu, I would go to this layer. I would create whatever highlight I wanted to do and create, you know, a new square. So this way, all my colors are, you know, there. So I would have like my, let's do this. Let's get rid of view, window, appearance, and let's get rid of this. All right. And then I would decide like what, you know, color I want for my shading. So this way it's kind of like doing painting. So you always have your, you know, the colors that you're doing, you know, handy, and you can kind of keep track of what colors you're using for what. So maybe that would be my shading. I don't know, but let's choose this for the highlight. And just to show you how I would clip mask this just for fun. And that'll be, I think, the last thing that I'll be able to do, because I think we'll be out of time. All right, I'm just going to lower this. I should actually have this in here. I don't know why it's not. Okay, so let's go into this, and this will be like the highlight for hair. And again, this is just me playing around. I will create a final version of this and send it to the guys and girls. Maybe I'll even continue this weekend on Behance. So if I wanted to kind of like, you know, create kind of like this right here. Okay, so let's add this, make this like this, and let's, oh, no, bug just hit my ear. Blur, Gaussian, and then let's just adjust and play around with it. Something like that, that's okay. And then what I would do is I would turn this off. And what we're going to do is open this so we can see what's going on. And I'm going to create a clipping mask real quick, because in Illustrator to do this, I would have to do clipping masks all over the place. And if you watch some of my old streams that are on Behance, if you subscribe to my channel, you can unlock 100 plus hours of tutorials on Behance that I've done for Adobe, because Adobe gave 25 people the ability to monetize, and I was lucky to be one of those as a streamer. And so I have all the old streams locked. When I do a live stream, I always like leave it open to the public for, you know, 25 to 48 hours, sometimes even a week. And then I lock it and archive it, you know, for my subscribers only. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is just do a clipping mask. So object, and then do clipping mask, make, and then bam. See? And I would do this for every like shadow and highlight right there, just so it kind of does that. And now I'm going to just adjust the a little bit. Whoops, let's actually select it and then adjust the opacity. Might make sense. And then I would do even a little bit more, to be honest with you. I just wanted to really kind of create something simple, something easy for you guys, so you guys can get an idea of how you can create a character in Adobe Illustrator. Ooh, let's make this a little bit lighter or even less, because you can see it a lot like that. Something like this. So if we were to go on and continue on with her, whoops, she would end up being like, really cool and awesome and so forth. But I think that's pretty cool. Just to show you guys how detailed I will go sometimes, I'm just going to jump back into my portfolio and show you guys, like, here's Tracer from Overwatch. Just the idea of what you can do in Adobe Illustrator when you're creating characters that, and trust me, it gets layers. You end up doing a lot of layers when you're doing characters. And just to show you another one, this one I did in a live stream as well too. A little cute devil girl right there. And you can see, I think maybe right there, you can see all the paths. That was like several hours of tutorial live on Behance. And then just to show you one more, just as an example, this right here, again, all Adobe Illustrator except for the Photoshop background. But you can see, oh no, I colored it in Clip Studio Paint. Whoops, maybe I shouldn't show you that one. What other one was done in? A lot of these are Illustrator, but I'm trying to find ones that are colored. This is nice. So you can see, like, right there, you would add like a little bit of shading and you make her a little bit nicey nice and pretty. You'd add like, the eyeliner and everything. And you can see the eyes look really good. And just to show you, like, here's, if you're Orange is the New Black fan, just to show you, like, here's like Lolly's eyes right there. Same technique that I showed you guys today, except I didn't blur this part. But very similar and very cool. I guess since we ran out of time for Illustrator, if you guys have questions, then my friends at the Adobe Philippines community can help answer questions, and we can, if you guys have personal questions about, like, maybe how I got started or whatever, or techniques, whatever you guys want to ask, you're free to ask. Or even if you guys have questions, my lovely hosts, if you guys have questions for me too, you guys can ask questions as well. And I want to take a big sip of Monster Energy drink.
Okay, now it's time for the questions.
Okay, guys. Personally, do you prefer analog drawing first and then scan it, or take a picture and draw over it, or do you prefer to draw even the basis art with a tablet? I like to draw in pencil because I'm a New Yorker, and I used to be on the subway all the time. And now that I live in Germany, I'm on the train a lot, or I might be in the living room or wherever. I do like sometimes drawing on tablets. I do love that as well too. But I tend to be like a person that likes to jump into, a notebook. If you were to see how many, like, God, if you were to go to my mom's house and see how many sketchbooks and like journals that I've drawn in over the years, you'd die. And then if you ever want to get me a present, if you're a company and you send me a notebook that I can draw in, it's something that I love. I just love drawing in pencil. And it's like I said, I've been using the same pencil since 7th grade. I'm not going to tell you how old I am. I'm not a young pup, but I'm young enough to get in trouble, but old enough to know better, kind of thing. But I've been using the same Pentel pencil since 7th grade, and I just love sketching, And the cool thing with the sketches, I don't feel like I'm committed to it. Like, if I take it to digital art, I might change it later on, and evolve it, or fix it, because maybe I might have made the eyes wrong or did something funny. Just to show an example, I'll go back to my portfolio real quick. Let's see. Let's do another thing right here. Let's go to my portfolio, and I'll show you on one. I messed up, and I fixed it during the live stream. I realized during the live stream, like, I made her eye way too far out, and then I fixed it. It looked fine on a piece of paper, but when I got into the digital drawing, it didn't look good. So to me, I think starting with pencil is always good, because I don't feel like committed to sticking with that. Anybody else have any questions?
This one.
Anything.
Okay. What do you think it takes to be a creative influencer like you?
Oh, well, that's a good question. I think there's a lot of different things that, work out. I think, being able to communicate to an audience, like being able to, like, be willing to share information, and also it because I also teach marketing and PR. One thing, if you ask my students at the Digital Career Institute, like what's the three things Ken always tries to drill into our heads, it's be authentic, be genuine, and be humanistic. Be true to
Wow.
your audience, be transparent, be friendly. Also, my pillars are, entertain and educate, or sorry, educate and inform. So I want to, share information that people could use. I want to entertain. I want to do it in a fun way. And then I want to inspire and challenge. So I want you guys to like take what I teach or what I share and go out and create something and maybe even do it 10 times better than me and then come back to me and show me. Like I really want that.
Wow.
And to me as an influencer, those are the key things. Like, those three pillars about like educate, inform, entertain, and then inspire and challenge, and then always be humanistic, genuine, and then authentic. And to me, I think no matter what you do in life, even if you're applying for a job, maybe you're applying for a graphic design job, the way you write your cover letter, be human, be authentic, be genuine, and it just gets you a long way. And like I said, my students at the Digital Career Institute will tell you that I drill that into their skulls every time that I talk to them. And then, just being passionate about what you do and passionate about how you share knowledge and like what you talk about, and not being afraid, like get out there, reach out to people. If you want to connect with companies, I connected with Adobe on LinkedIn and back in 2013 because I was hosting Behance portfolio reviews. I hosted like 18 of them. One being like the biggest one in Europe, which was pretty cool. And I invited them to speak, and that's how I got connected to Adobe. I connected to them on LinkedIn. Don't be afraid. If there's a gaming company that you want to connect to, if there's a company that makes like tech, reach out to them. Also write articles. You can write articles about topics that you love about illustration or design or like reviews and like share them, and it could be just 3 to 4 paragraphs. Make sure you set yourself as an expert, or do like a YouTube video. If you like my art, then hey, do a review on YouTube and go, hey, I like Ken's art because of this, this, and this, and start talking about, different things that you feel are cool. And eventually people will start picking up on that. They'll see that you're very passionate about what you're doing, and maybe they'll like choose you as an influencer for for their company.
Awesome. Next one, from the young ones. This is always a question as well.
Is it worth going to art school instead of being self-taught? I think I went so what I studied mass communication, which focused on everything. I did learn 3D graphics, film, and writing, and journalism and ethics, and pretty much everything that was in mass communication, everything, photography as well. And then I also minored in psychology with a focus on advertising psychology, and then a minor in art with a focus on graphic design. Now, I do feel that you need to go out and learn. And even if you're in school, and I tell my students this at the Digital Career Institute, I'll teach you something, whether it be SEO or social media ads or, Google display ads or whatever. If you really love that part of marketing, then go out and explore. There's tons of videos on YouTube. There are tons of articles out there. In a school, you can only be with somebody X amount of day or X amount of time during the day. But the person really needs to go out there and explore the things that they love. So, hey, self-taught, you can go out and practice. I mean, I started drawing when I was a kid, and that's why I love drawing. And I'm probably one of the only marketers that you'll see in PR guys that is always like creating artwork because it's something I'm passionate about. Just get out there and experiment. Grab a pen, grab a pad, start drawing. Like I said earlier in the stream, if you do this 5 to 10 minutes a day, and you do it, that's 1% better each day. And again, if you do that for a month, that's 30% better. 2 months, that's 60% better. If you do that for an entire year, that's 365% better. You do that over the course of 3-4 years, your artwork just gets better and better and better, and then just always realize that there's always going to probably be somebody that does things better than you, or always does things that you think are like nicer. Don't let that get you down. Always think, hey, what? If I see something that I feel is better than me, then try to do it yourself. And, over time, you'll get better at it. So to me, I think,
Yeah.
it's a plus and minus. I think it's good to go to art school because you do learn theory, but you can learn that on your own. And you see like a lot of people using like Adobe tools and Adobe software that never went to university, never studied it. Maybe
Yeah.
they did like a Udemy course, maybe they did a LinkedIn learning course. So to me, hey, get out there, experiment and try. Going to art school, yeah, it can be worth it, it can help out. I'm not going to put down an art school. I think I would I loved my teachers in university that were in art. Chris Harris, who was an amazing photography teacher, Mark Barr, in 3D animation, who is on the board of SIGGRAPH. I mean, these guys really inspired me, and kind of, taught me a lot. And then other people that I met over the course of the time, and then people that I know, like Kenny was in the chat earlier. Just seeing Kenny's art on LinkedIn that he shares inspires me as well too, to go out there and create even more. So to me, it's always getting out there and exploring and testing things out on your own. You don't have to necessarily go to an art school. Yeah, it's great if you do, but not everybody always has the money, right? So, hey, try learning things on your own. It's completely okay.
Yep. Another one from Thomas.
Thomas asked this earlier. Do you ever use live trace to generate the vector from the raster, then tweak it manually, or do you always do 100% manual reproduction? I usually do manual reproduction. And if you look at my screen, I'll zoom in and tell you why. Because if you see, it's very sketchy lines. And if I do that in like live paint and or live trace and try to do that, it's going to look a mess and it's not going to look clean. So unfortunately, maybe in a year or two, give it a while. Maybe Adobe will, create something that can read it a little bit better. But for me, it's better to go in and draw over top of it. And also because I might need to change something. Maybe I messed up like the eye when I was drawing it, and the eye looked, and I didn't realize it. Maybe the eye need to be funny. A good example is with oh, maybe I can open it back up. This one. So with Jinx here, just to show you guys, I noticed this was based on another person's artwork from League of Legends. The eye and the artwork was messed up in the original artwork that somebody else did. And I noticed that, and so did my other people when I was streaming this live. So I moved the hair over so you could see more of the eye, and I fixed it. But I wouldn't. If I would have, went from live trace to make the illustration like that, it wouldn't have picked up on that, and I would have had that kind of eye that looked kind of wrong. But because I picked up on it, I was able to fix it. So to me, like doing it manually and going back in, I can pick up on those little mistakes that maybe I made during the sketch, if that makes sense. And yes, it
Yep.
was Kenny from DCI. God, I love seeing. That's so cool that somebody from DCI joined. I love my school that I teach at.
Yep. For the young ones, once more. Great for you. You have an iPad.
Would an
Zombie Slayer.
iPad be a sufficient device to start for digital art?
Of course.
I don't limit yourself to iPad. You can get a
Yeah.
drawing tablet and from any company and use a PC or a Mac and just attach it to it. iPad, I don't want to say anything bad about Apple, but uh the only thing I'm probably going to use on an iPad is Procreate. I shouldn't even say that out loud, right? We're talking about Adobe stuff. But I'm not going to buy an iPad just so I could use Procreate. I mean, I have all the Adobe stuff that I can use on a computer that runs the full software, you know. I don't think that they have a full version of Photoshop, and Illustrator is still kind of light on iPad. Like to me, I would rather get a tablet that I can hook up to my computer and draw. Uh, to me, that makes more sense. I mean, if you have the money for an iPad, go ahead and get it. But the iPad's not what makes you the best artist. No device is going to make you a good artist. What makes you a good artist is practice, trying, playing. Any device, it's only a device. What makes you a good artist is practice. So
Yeah.
practice makes perfect.
Always. From Thomas once more. Do you ever?
Do I ever clean up my hand drawings in Photoshop first before I take them to Illustrator? If I want to make them pretty before I before I share them with the community, maybe. No. For the today's drawing, to tell you, Thomas, to go back to this, I did take it into Photoshop and I did adjust the brightness, and then I did extend this because this part right down here, where the words are, didn't exist, and I used that. Oh God, what did I use? Maybe you can think about it, Jay. What? Content aware fill. So I used content aware fill to extend the page so it matched. But no, usually I don't go into Photoshop all that often to clean things up. I just go direct into Illustrator and start drawing. Ian. Oh, I see Ian's got a question right there. Oh God, this is where I'm gonna have to show you guys maybe like a example. So Ian's got a question like, what's the longest time to draw an illustration? How detailed was it? Ian's awesome. I love Ian. Ian is a good friend of mine. Is super cool. Just to show you guys, we'll go into behance.net. We'll go into my portfolio or my page where you guys can see my live streams. And so just to show you guys, like, example, to do this illustration right here, this was 3 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours. So that was like over a lot of hours to create that one piece of art. So just to show you the final piece, she took a little while to create. It wasn't like, a 2-hour thing. It takes a while to create good art and you have to be patient. So this is the final illustration that I did and I live streamed it. And like I said, this was 2, 5, 8, 11, 14 hours to do roughly that I streamed, and I did some parts of it not. And even like this, 3 hours, 34 minutes, 3 hours, 48 minutes, 3 hours, 6 minutes, 3 hours, 33 minutes, 3 hours, 12. And then I just kind of explained it and then showed something else right there as well too. But yeah, no, artwork takes time. If you want to do it right and you want to have a really nice graphic that you can put in your portfolio or showcase, like maybe you're applying for jobs at like Riot Games or Ubisoft or maybe Marvel Comics or even Disney, whatever, then I would take the time and put the time into like creating, a piece of artwork that you really spend a lot of time in. Like this, I did really quick today. I mean, that was like speed. That's why I didn't get enough into like the highlights and the shadows and so forth like that. I just got the base colors and I skipped. Like this is what I did live with the line art, and I planned ahead so I could show you guys a little bit of coloring. So I created the rest of the line art last night. That way I could, show.
You should have told us earlier. But next time, definitely it would be minimum 3 hours.
I tell you, on Sundays, I usually stream on Behance for anywhere from 2 to 3, sometimes 4 hours. It depends if my wife is yelling at me like, Ken, it's time to eat, or why aren't you out here in the living room with me? We want to watch the show on Netflix, But usually on Sundays, I stream live for anywhere from 2 to 3 hours. And it's only partial of the product and so forth. I like what Sammy said right there. Oh, Rugal said, when presenting character designs to clients, what would be key differences in presenting to bigger clients versus medium-sized clients, assuming those are asking for the character design in that realm? Okay. First, I need to know what size of the company is. If it's small, if it's big, and this is if they're going to buy it, and then what it's going to be used for. Is it going to be something used in, let's say, advertising? Okay. So is the character going to be used in like a local ad? Is it going to be used in a national ad, or is it going to be used in an international ad? And all those factors come in when I'm kind of like presenting, and like also like when I'm pricing too. If I was doing like something, if I was working at a game studio, which I wouldn't probably be working on the art side, I'd probably be working on the marketing and PR and the community development side. But if I was working on the art side of things, then I would probably take in a rough sketch, a pencil sketch first, and show the pencil sketch to my client first. Then I would show them, like what it would look like next. And if it's a freelance client, then obviously I would have that booked in, how many hours I spend on the drawing itself, and then how many hours I spend on the graphic, and then how many changes they get. But if I'm working at, let's say, Ubisoft, right, then the character process is going to take time. It's not going to be like an overnight thing where I do the sketch and it's the perfect sketch. We move on to the next phase. You have to take your time and kind of do things out. That being said, I did do I can go into my portfolio real quick. Let's go back to, where's this at? Right here. Let me find it. So I did a thing for a client. It was a rush job. It was 2 overnights, literally 2 overnights. Where's it at? Right here. And it was for a video that I edited. So I submitted this character right here to the company first, and I literally created this whole video. They paid for it. They paid for it. It cost them like $3K. I charged them. I know my worth. But then I gave them this idea. Then they said, no, give her a ponytail. I gave them that. And this was the final character. So, and this was overnight, but this is the process. A character is never like, done in like 2 seconds. You have to build up on it. So when you present an idea to somebody, you want to make sure that if it's a freelance, you have it in your contract that they get one or two sketches. They choose their favorite sketch, and then when you're working on the graphic, they get 2 or 3 revisions, and then anything more they have to pay for. If you're working for a company, then if you're in-house, like I said, at Ubisoft, then they know over time that a character is not going to happen overnight, but sometimes just a rough sketch. But if you think about it, sometimes a sketch on a napkin actually has become like a real character in like cartoons and so forth like that too. So if you look at like some of the older cartoons, some of the artists would be sitting in bars, having cocktails, and that's how they came up with like the character, because their partners were sitting with them. You could just walk in with a napkin if they know you, if you're working in a company, and go, hey, look, this is what I drew last night. What do you guys think? And they go, okay, let's see how it looks like on paper. Let's get that going, but it really depends also how well the people too. You want to come off as professional. So I think, you got to kind of gauge who they are. If you're working in-house, if you're working out-house, if it's a freelance, you're doing something freelance for somebody, again, always put your best foot forward and kind of like show things that, kind of make you worthwhile as like to hire or to use your content. It's all about marketing and PR, selling your idea in the long run.
Next.
Is Illustrator a feasible application for more detailed storyboarding? Oh my God, I wish my one friend was in the room. So I think with storyboarding, I probably would use Photoshop most likely, because I would want to do sketches that are fast. If I really want to clean them up, I think Illustrator, maybe I could do the line art in Illustrator and then do the shading in Photoshop, maybe. That could be a possibility. But I think I'd probably use Photoshop to sketch, or Fresco. You probably could use even Fresco if you really wanted to. Although I don't use I do use Fresco, but not as often. But I would say Photoshop. If I want to sketch something out, I'd probably use Photoshop most likely, or another product that I'm not going to mention from another company because this is an Adobe stream.
And I guess this will be the last question. Your advice, most especially for the young ones. Not that. Here it is.
What would be your best advice to the young ones going into digital art? I think, it's to be open and to practice. And also, I know a lot of people suffer from imposter syndrome, know that everybody kind of struggles, and that, nobody starts out perfectly unless you're really gifted. But it's practice. It's really getting out there and practicing and not being scared. Like, really develop your skill, really develop your style, like really. And I trust me, my artwork evolves all the time, and I never draw like one style. I always kind of draw in like different styles. Like if you wanted me to draw something kind of funny, I could. You know, experiment, try different styles. Have fun with things. Don't be afraid to do whatever. Um, and just realize, it takes time. You have to learn. It takes time. It takes patience. You have to learn how to do things, and it doesn't happen overnight. And even like you'll see if you go through my portfolio, you can see like I think I even have some of the old stuff in here too. Like this is like old, but you'll see how my styles have evolved over time. Um, and like eventually you'll get it, you'll get there. But if you develop your style over time, then you'll get there. It's just never give up, never get discouraged, never feel like, oh, I can't, or like, this doesn't look good. Just realize, hey, look, it takes time. But I can tell you, doesn't matter what your age is, doesn't matter if you're young or old. I went into one of my friends was a teacher at an international school here in Dusseldorf. She's now in Russia. Super cool, awesome, talented art teacher. And I can't remember why I was at the school, but it was after hours, no students around, and she gave me a tour of the studio, and I saw one painting by a girl that was 15 years old. She was painting like she was like, been painting for 50 plus years. And I'm like, oh my God, I wish I could paint that good. You know, it's all about putting the time in and practicing. Again, like even if you're learning something in a class, you only have X amount of hours per day in the class. Go out there. If there's something that you love and you want to learn, go watch some YouTube videos, watch some live streams with me, hopefully on Behance, that would be great. But go out there and experiment, try new things. If you have free time and you're sitting in the car or on the bus, break out a sketch pad, just start drawing, doodling. If you really love that sketch, then scan it, photograph it, then take it into Photoshop or Illustrator and see what you can do with it. To me, it's all about experimentation and just trying new things and just realizing that you have to grow. It's not an overnight thing. I mean, maybe some people, get lucky and they can just draw like super good, like on their first attempt. But usually it's something that you learn over time and you get better at it as time goes by. To me, I think, that's the most important thing is just to experiment, try, have fun. And again, learn. It's all about learning, and then realize it's a never ending learning process with the new technology and the way the cool thing with Adobe products is they always have the updates every year, like during Adobe Max. So the tools are getting smarter, especially when it comes to like photo editing, and I think we'll see more changes when we get into illustration as well too in the future. But if there's like a new trend or a new technique, then get out there and learn it. And I can tell you in Photoshop and Illustrator, there's like usually one or well, let's say 10 to 100 different ways to accomplish the same task. So you might go, okay, I can do this in Photoshop this way. And then somebody sitting next to you, oh, you can do it this way too. Just realize that there's more than one way to do something, and just keep trying, keep experimenting, never give up. And just try different styles. And to me, like I said, I'm an artist that creates artwork in several styles. I don't do just one because that's makes me more marketable. And now other artists will be like, no, you need to do one style because that's what makes you noticeable and so forth. But to me, I think experimenting, trying different styles, and just continue learning and doing a lot of experimenting, I think, and that's how you get better. So to me, if you're a young person starting out, have fun with it, get out there, practice makes perfect, and just enjoy yourself.
Awesome. Yep. And before we let you all go, inviting you January 13, Journey of a 3D Artist. Our speaker will be hailing all the way from Qatar. And of course, we want you all to succeed. Okay, that's why we will be having how to monetize your expertise through LinkedIn. And again, if you have a message or an advocacy to share, inviting you to be our next sharer, like Ken, Sheena Berry. And again, don't forget to follow, connect Ken in LinkedIn. Please subscribe. You need to subscribe. We need to reach 1,000 before this month ends, and Instagram. Did I left anything? Forgot anything, Ken?
No, I think that's good. The YouTube and Instagram are the great things, and definitely a shout out to my school here in Germany, the Digital Career Institute. I tell you, it's amazing. If you're in Germany and you want to learn marketing and PR, web development, or Amazon AWS, then send me a message. If you have any questions, reach out to me on any one of these social platforms: LinkedIn, YouTube, or Medium, or whatever, Behance, or whatever. Send me a message on Instagram and go, hey, Ken, I got a question about this. I'm always open. Also, the Adobe Creative Careers channel on Discord, there's a lot of cool mentors on there as well, too. So if you're on Discord, then drop in and ask us questions. Ask your mentors questions. And don't forget, the Adobe Community Support Forum is a great place for information too. I don't know if you guys know about that, but I'm an ACP. And so ACPs answer questions on the Adobe Community Support Forum. And if you get stuck in Character Animator, Illustrator, InDesign, Photoshop, or whatever, you can go in there and depending on the application, you can ask questions there, and either myself or one of the other ACPs will answer as well too. So let's give them a big round of props. That's a really cool community too.
Awesome. So once more, thank you so much, Ken. Thank you, everyone. And we hope to see you again for our next live stream. And same to you,
Thanks,
Ken.
guys.
Maraming salamat.
Cheers.
Bye, everyone.
Enjoy your weekend.
Happy lunch to you, Ken.
I'll hang out in the room after.
Maybe you've heard about Adobe's Creative Cloud, but you're still not completely sure what it is. Simply put, it's a whole new way of working and creating, giving you everything you need to do your best work. When you join Creative Cloud, you get all the same state-of-the-art creative tools you've always used and loved. Tools like Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, Premiere Pro, but they've been completely reinvented to support a more intuitive and connected way of creating. Plus, you have access to brand new tools like Adobe Muse and Edge tools and services for building beautiful modern websites. With one membership, you get every Adobe Creative tool so you can constantly experiment and expand your skills. And the very latest features are always available to you when you're ready to download and install them. Creative Cloud lets you work from anywhere, on any device, wherever you are and with anyone you want. You can sync your files to the cloud to work on them later, access them from another device, or share your files and collaborate with a team. In fact, Creative Cloud was specifically designed to streamline the way creatives work together. You can set up private folders, choose your collaborators, manage versions, and capture all the activity related to your projects, all in one place. And with the integration of Behance, the world's leading creative community, you can showcase your work to millions, get feedback, and get exposure. From right within Photoshop CC, you can post your designs to your Works in Progress portfolio on Behance, and then get instant feedback from your trusted peers. You can also explore and discover the world's best work from leading creatives, peers, and people you know. Behance ProSite is also included with your membership. It's a fully customizable professional online portfolio on your own URL. With ProSite, keeping your portfolio up to date becomes easier than ever. You can also build and publish websites, mobile apps, and iPad applications. It's all included in your membership. Download the creative apps from the cloud to your desktop and use them the same way you always have, whether you're connected to the internet or not. You have a central dashboard to help you keep track of your entire creative universe. Your ideas, files, fonts, colors, settings, and updates and upgrades to your desktop apps, as well as your collaborators and community activity. And you have access to a growing library of tutorials and inspirational content. It's all available in real time wherever you happen to be. Creative Cloud evolves as you evolve and gives you everything you need to keep up, so you can experiment, innovate, and embrace whatever's next. Create now.